Hi everyone, welcome back to a new video here on my channel. So today we are going to be budgeting out for the month of June. I have already done my pre-budget online and it's looking pretty good so far, so I'm excited to just jump straight into it. The very first thing that I always like to do is to write out 3 goals for the month. So my very first goal is to buy coffee only every other day. I have been really bad with buying coffee every single day, and even though I love my coffee, I have to kind of chill out a little bit, so my goal is to buy coffee only every other day. I will be tracking this throughout the month, and then my second goal is to pay off one of my debts. If you've already seen my debt update video with me, you know exactly which debt I'm talking about, but if you haven't, this is my Progressive leasing debt, which is basically for my mattress. I have about $300 left for the month of June besides my 2 minimum monthly payments. So June is the deadline to pay it off within the 90 days that I got it, because after the 90 days, the interest starts hitting and it starts accumulating. And then my last goal is to track/share my budget accurately. So this is both tracking it just every single day with myself and then also sharing it accurately on my YouTube channel and on my budget Instagram, because I took a small hiatus. I'm trying to get back on track, and that is what this goal is going to help me with. Okay, the next section that I like to do for my expenses is going to be weeklies. These are expenses that need to be taken care of every single week. They don't necessarily have any type of due date. I just like to break them down into each week. Okay, so we have 3 categories in my weekly section. I have gas, food, and spending. So because there are 4 weeks in the month, I did put 4 here. And then for gas each week, I spend about $60. And so 4 weeks of $60, that equals $240. And then for food, my goal is to spend $100 each week. So that'll be $400 for the month for food. And then my weekly spending is $15. 4 times a month, that is $60. So total each month, I spend about $700 on my weekly expenses, and that is for sure one of my lowest categories overall. So the next category that I like to do is the auto pay category. I have an auto pay category and then a regular expense category. The only difference obviously is that these are on auto pay, and I like to prioritize them before the regular expenses, just because these are going to come out no matter what, so I like to make sure they are taken care of first. Okay, so we've got quite a few expenses here in the auto pay category. So we have my insurance, which is due on the 11th for $215. My 6-month policy is restarting and it did go up $8. I'm not really sure why, but it's not that much, so I'm not going to question it. And then we have my Progressive leasing. You can see the 2 payments here on the 11th and the 25th, both $67. And then we have my gym, which is $25 on the 22nd. And then we have my part of the Wi-Fi due on the 24th for $42. I think that's what it'll be. It could be different. I'm not sure yet. And then renter's insurance will be on the 28th for $10, which is my portion. And then we have Spotify for $18 on the 28th, and then savings on the 30th for $37. So for the Spotify, I do have the family plan. I pay for it. And I actually still have my ex on there, but I also have my sister on there, so I don't really plan on changing that. Nothing wrong with it, nothing against still paying for it. I just remembered that and I thought it was funny. Okay, now we are going to work on the infamous regular bills section. Okay, so we have all the regular bills down. Sorry if you can hear the AC in the back. I tried my longest and hardest to not put the AC on because I think it's pretty loud. I'm not sure, but yeah, I couldn't help it. So sorry if you can hear it. So we have my couch, well, my portion of the couch payment, which is due on the 8th for $25. And then we have my first car payment, which is due on the 13th for $183. That is for my old car that I no longer have, but I was left with a balance after insurance paid it off after my accident. So now I pay that remaining amount every month. Counseling, I have 2 more times this month. On the 16th and on the 30th, my copay is $30 every single time. I am doing bi-weekly sessions. So I do have a session plan on the 2nd of June, but I've already got that plan in my budget. So that's why you don't see that here. I did also recently upgrade my medical insurance so that I could start lowering my copay for my counseling. Before, I was seeing a different counselor. She didn't accept insurance, and so I was paying $95 a session. And even though I was with her for a couple of years and I really, really loved her, I just really wanted to get more for my money. So I upgraded my insurance, switched to a new counselor, which thankfully I also really, really like. And so now it is $30 a session. Okay, so my car payment for the one that I drive now is due on the 16th for $520. It's usually $514, but I think I was a couple of days late on one of my payments, and so I have a late fee. So I'm just slowly paying a little bit more to chip away at that late fee. And then for my Victoria's Secrets credit card on the 16th for the 37th, the Sun Devils auto credit card on the 1st for $51. Those are kind of in limbo for right now. If you watch my debt video, that makes more sense. But for now, we're just gonna keep it scheduled as we have always had it. And of course, if it changes, then we can update it. And then we have my phone bill due on the 30th for $40. I just sent that to my mom because I'm still under her plan. And then for utilities on the 30th, I'm estimating it'll be $50. Could be less, could be more. And then SRP, I am planning to put a total of $80 in towards that this month. And then my portion for rent for July 1st is $912. So that's what I have put down there. So this category is by far the most expensive category, and it is 100% because of rents. But it is worth it. So moving on. The next category is going to be special events. I'm gonna do special events / cash envelopes because I don't want to make 2 whole different sections for kind of the similar kind of things. So it's up a little bit because this is my first time combining the 2 sections. So we have one birthday next month. Thank God. May was crazy. I had like 4 birthdays and so many things. But we only have one birthday, and that is for my baby cousin on the 9th. And I plan to spend $25, but you never know with me. We'll see. That is what the last column here is for, to see how much I actually spend. And then for Christmas, which is a cash envelope, I plan to put $40 aside, not on a specific date, so there's no date here. And then if I plan to put more, or if I end up putting more or less, I'll change it here. So these last 2 are after all of my expenses are taken care of. Oh, I actually forgot to put one thing down while I'm talking about this. Oh shoot, it's from my whiteout. So this one that I'm adding right now is also including after all of my expenses, but this is going to be the main priority, this one here. So by the 25th, I need to pay an additional $300 to pay off my mattress. That is number 1 priority. After that, whatever income I make, I would like to first put aside money for my car maintenance, about $400, and that is going to include 2 new tires, a cabin filter, an alignment, and I think that's it. I feel like there's another thing, but I'm not remembering off the top of my head. But those are kind of like the remaining pieces that I need to finish getting for my car, and then hopefully that'll be it for a while. Definitely going to start bulking up a car maintenance sinking fund though after this. But for now, we'll stick with the $400, and then if I have anything remaining after that, my next goal is going to be savings. Like I mentioned in my budget update for May, I took a big chunk of my savings, literally half. So my next goal is to rebuild that after I fix my car. Because I want to take care of my car first and make that priority, then it's going to be savings. I don't have a particular goal because right now I'm just focusing on my car, and then after that we'll see what happens. So those are all of my expenses. Next, we are going to write down all of my income. I am going to do something different. I'm going to write them down in a different color pen. Okay, so we have all of my income written out for the month of June. We have my first paycheck from my regular full-time job, and the first paycheck is going to be on the 9th, and I'm expecting $1,190. That is about a little over $100 more than what my checks usually are, but because I am working on Memorial Day and I get paid double for that day, I did calculate it out, and this is roughly what I should be getting because of that. And then my next paycheck from my regular job is on the 23rd. I'm expecting $1,440. This is a lot more than my regular paycheck, but that's because June marks 1 whole year that I have been at my job, which is actually very exciting for me. And so I did get hired on with the hiring bonus. I got $500 a couple months into when I started. I think it was 6 months. And then after I reach my full year, I will receive my additional $500. And so after tax, I've estimated it should be about around this amount. And then last but not least, here is my additional income from my side job. I didn't put a date because there really is no specific date that I get paid. It's just whenever I want to cash out. And I've estimated that to meet all of my regular expenses and to meet my $300 goal for my debt payoff, I need to cash out at least $874 from my side job this month. Thankfully, I am basically already at this amount, so I don't have to worry too much about that. I do think that I am going to have a really good amount left over this month. So like I said, whatever is left over will be put towards car maintenance and then my savings. Given that everything in my budget goes as planned and I am really sticking to my budget. So now that we have all of the income listed out, I'm going to start putting my expenses into my income. So the first expenses that I always like to put into my budget are the weekly expenses. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, these right here equal a total of $700 for the whole month. And I like to break it down into my 2 paychecks. So split in half, that is about $350. So I'm gonna put here in my first paycheck, weeklies, $350. And then the other $350 I'm going to put in this second paycheck here. And then while I am putting things into my budget, I'm gonna start check marking them off with a green pen. So we've got all those 3 down already. Next, I'm going to start working on the auto pays, but I just remembered I actually have a birthday on the 9th, so right away I'm actually going to put that one down just before I forget. Okay, so because my first paycheck is on the 9th and then my next one is on the 23rd, I want to take care of all of my auto pay expenses that are before the 23rd. So that is going to include insurance, my first Progressive leasing payment, and then my gym membership. So I'm going to put those 3 down first. Okay, and then I'm actually going to grab my calculator real quick and then we'll start subtracting what we've already taken out. Okay, so we have $1,190. Going to subtract $350, $25, $215, $67, and then $25. So left over we have $508. Next, we'll take care of some of the regular bills. So we can for sure do couch, the car, counseling, and then definitely Victoria's Secret's credit card before the car, because that one is very specific with the due date. It will charge me a late fee if I'm late, and then we'll see how much we have left after that. So we're going to subtract 25, subtract 183, minus 30, minus 37. So that leaves us with $233. And I'm just gonna check mark these off before I forget. I think next we'll actually do some of the SRP, and then whatever's left over, we'll do the car. So for SRP, we did put $80, but we'll put $50 aside right now, and then the remaining $30 in the other paycheck. So if we subtract 50, that gives me $183 for my car payment, and then the remaining amount will just get paid with the next paycheck. And then if anyone is wondering, if you guys don't know, the type of budgeting that I'm doing here is called zero-based budgeting, because I take every dollar that I make from my income and I assign it to an expense. That way I know exactly what I'm doing with every single one of my dollars. At least that's what I budget on my paper, and I try to practice it, you know, in real life when I get my money. It's a little bit hard, but it really helps me when I zero-based budget. So the remaining amount I need for my car is $337, which again I put on this paycheck. And then before I forget, I'm gonna put the remaining $30 from the SRP onto here. And then we will start check marking off those two expenses. Paid my car, paid SRP. And now let's get back to the auto pay expenses. So we have to take care of the rest of the auto pay expenses. So that is going to be the Wi-Fi, Progressive Leasing, renter's insurance, Spotify, and savings. Okay. I'm gonna check mark off all these bad boys, and then we'll start subtracting. Okay, so we have $1,440. We're going to subtract $350, $337, $30, $42, $67, $10, $18, $37. So left over we have $549. So let's just start chipping away at the rest of the regular bills. So we'll do send out a credit card, counseling, phone, utilities, and then pretty much what is left over will go towards rent. So we're going to do minus 51, minus 30, minus 40, and then minus 50. So we're going to put aside $378. And of course, that is not my total amount for rent. I super wish it was, but it's not. It is $912. So the remaining amount we're going to need from my additional income is going to be $534. And we will just put that here. Oops. Okay, so we've done all of our weeklies, all of our auto pays, all of our regular bills, our special event. Now all we have left is Christmas and the $300 for my debt. And this should equal up to $874 if my math is correct. So we have $874, subtract $534 for rent, subtract 40, and we get 300. Perfect. My math is super correct. And that is our whole entire budget planned out for the month of June. Super exciting. I'm excited to see how much I'll be able to get done with my car, and hopefully how much I'll be able to add to my savings. I'm very glad that June is going to be a very chill month, I hope, because May was insane. So I am very happy to have a little bit of a breather and just kind of get back into not spending money every single weekend like crazy. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my budget. I hope you enjoyed, especially if you stayed through the whole thing. I appreciate you. Let me know what you've got going on in the month of June, if there's anything exciting. I love to know. I'm a little bit nosy. And my next video is going to be this weekend because I get my first paycheck. Wait, no, I don't get my first paycheck this weekend. I get my first paycheck next weekend. Okay. I might post another video before that. If not, my next video will for sure, if not, one of my next videos will for sure be the budget with me / cash envelope stuffing. So I'll see you soon. Bye.